Welcome to Freezer Milk Podcast. I'm your host, Bridget, along with my husband, Chris. Weekly, we talk about being parents, what happened that week. It's basically our therapy session to vent out everything that we went through. We are boy parents. We have 3 boys, Enzo, Rhett, and Arlo. And if you'd like to get to know us a little bit better, you can check out our website, freezermilk.com, or follow us on Instagram at Freezer Milk Podcast. We also have YouTube and TikTok, Freezer Milk. Thanks so much for listening, and we hope you enjoy. Welcome back from the East Coast.
We made it. Woo
Woo-hoo. It has been an eventful 2 weeks.
Yes.
Let's see. We left off right before we were getting moving. We stayed at the best Airbnb in Arizona.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And our auto shipment showed up like 2 days early, so that was kind of chaotic because we had to like scramble to get a rental car. And it couldn't be the rental car that we were getting later in the week when we were expecting the auto shipment because they didn't have any cars available earlier, so we had to rent from a different place for like 2 days. It was so chaotic.
Plus, we had to get the house ready for the movers, plus get it cleaned out, and basically turn it over to the new homeowner. We had to prepare for flights. We had a kid in daycare who was moody. We had a baby we had to deal with. We had work. We had business stuff happening.
I attempted to do laundry.
We attempted to do the laundry.
You want to tell that story?
You can.
So, needless to say, I learned that our washing machine has a reservoir, and you can load an entire, bottle full of laundry detergent into our front load washing machine in the reservoir. I learned the hard way that not all front load machines have a reservoir. Some of them you're only supposed to pour a cap full, and it does disappear when you pour it in.
Yeah, some of the newer models are auto sensing, and they'll hold up to like 15 loads.
Yeah, and it'll then auto dispense based on the load size.
Yeah.
Which is what ours does. It's the only front load washer I've ever had. Nope. Learned the hard way that this other front load washer that was at one of the places we stayed, it's not that way. And I realized that after I poured an entire 21 load bottle into it at like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it was a little unnerving. I was a little frustrated. But
I was crying.
you were very emotional.
I was very emotional. It was late. I was tired. I was trying to be helpful, and it backfired significantly.
Yeah, so I had to pull all the clothes out and kind of run a smaller, shorter cycle to see if I could flush some of the detergent out, which was fine. It did that. And then I ran another cycle without anything in it, and
it was a foam party.
Yeah, it turned into, it completely foamed itself out, and I had to figure out how to get the foam out of there. And anyway.
So there we are, like 10:30 at night. I'm holding a garbage bag, and you're like shoveling out handfuls of foam into this garbage bag out of the washer. Oh.
But you were all nervous about it because
I was so worried I broke it.
You were worried about you were worried you broke this brand new washer and washing machine, and B, you were concerned because you went through all the soap. So at 5 o'clock the next morning, I had to run up to the store to buy the exact same soap
to replace
it with.
So then we got on our flight. We did a red eye.
Yeah,
we did get to do first
but
class.
Why did we do a red eye?
So we did a red eye because it was the best price for our first class tickets.
We were also hoping that...
No, I wasn't hoping. I was betting that kids would not sleep.
Yeah,
But it was a direct flight, and it was significantly cheaper than daytime.
Which we tried to put both kids down for a couple hours before we had to go to the airport.
Yeah, because they don't stay up till almost midnight normally, so they needed a couple hours of sleep.
So they both went down, and we loaded up the car with every freaking suitcase. We had, so it was 4 of us. Two of us are under the age of 3.
Yeah.
So we had
2 strollers,
a car seat in a car seat bag. We
firearm.
had a firearm.
Like a
large
long,
firearm.
like,
not a small firearm, a large firearm.
in like the long case.
We had 2 large suitcases. We had a pack and play. We had two other medium-sized suitcases, plus our carry-ons, our backpacks. And it was just me and you with two of these kids trying to balance.
We parked at the rental car return, and we were like, "Oh my god, it's so far." Well, first the intention was we were going to do curbside drop, me, all the suitcases, and kids and all that. But it took us longer to get out of the house than we'd planned for.
Yeah.
And so at this point, we were like, we don't have time to do one drop, have you go to the rental car, wait for the shuttle, come all. We should have done that. It would have been faster.
Yeah, but security held us up.
Yes. Security broke our stuff.
Mm-hmm. Trying to get it through the freaking X-ray. They make these things smaller and smaller and smaller, and
I don't understand why.
they make the whole size, the opening size, smaller and smaller and
I
smaller.
don't understand why. You'd think they would understand, like, we need to make this large so that, like, stuff can go through.
They do it on purpose because they don't want you to take anything over a certain size because that's what fits on the airplanes.
Yeah.
So.
But they shoved a stroller in it instead of, like, just rolling it through and wanding it.
As they should have.
And it got stuck. And then
I don't even think that was what got stuck originally.
I don't know what got stuck originally.
But they messed up. They messed up the stroller. They like yanked my backpack out of there. It had my laptops in it. Like,
Yeah.
Well, it was a horrible experience.
It was.
And we hadn't even gotten on the freaking plane yet.
No,
we were late.
We're literally, they had a 2-minute warning for the door closed. We're the last ones on the plane. We're at TSA for over 25 minutes waiting for them to get our stuff out of the scanner that was stuck.
Yeah. Then they just like threw it all over the fucking place. It was a horrible experience.
Yeah, they did a terrible job. Sky Harbor, TSA, get your act together, please.
Yes.
Normally, you guys are great. This was not a great experience. So we got the 2-minute, like, we got to the gate, and they're like, are you, Chris and Bridget, and said our last names. And we're like, yeah. They're like, we've been waiting on you. They're like, you need to get on the plane right now. We're waiting. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, they were still in the.
I know. So we got the kids on the plane, and Arlo lost it.
For about 45 minutes.
The first 45 minutes of this flight, this child screamed bloody murder. Of course, we had just given him a bottle 45 minutes prior, so I didn't have one ready because the milk wasn't warm yet because I'd pulled frozen milk, and so it was still frozen.
Yeah.
So I'm handing you milk, sit on it, put it against your back, tuck it under your armpit, something. I'm pulling out. I'm waiting because they're taking off. And the stewardess walks by and he's like, is there anything I can get you right now from up above? As we're taxiing down the fucking runway. I was like, yes, I have portable pumps up in the fucking compartment above me. Please hand them to me. So he hands me my portable pumps. I'm pumping. I'm come on, milk. Fucking produce faster so I can shove a bottle in this baby's mouth because it is midnight and he's screaming bloody murder. Hysterical. We're taking off, so I can't hold him or walk up and down the aisle. So I finally get enough pumped, and about that time the milk had warmed up enough to be only slightly chunky frozen.
Right.
So there's some liquid to it, and we're we don't care. You're getting that ice cold, refreshing milk. Hopefully you don't get a stomach ache from it or get, gas.
He drank it.
Oh, God, yeah. And then he passed right out.
Yep. And then it was the other one.
And then Rhett did not go to bed.
At all. Just wired for sound, flipping around, fucking with the people in front, fucking with the people in back, just messing around with everything. He drove me insane. And
to put in perspective, this is a 4.5-hour flight.
Yeah.
From midnight to 4:30 in the morning AZ time.
I didn't sleep at all.
No, you slept a tiny bit.
I slept for what, 10 minutes?
It was 45.
Oh.
But this kid did not get tired once. Did not even try to settle down, calm down. Just wasn't crying, wasn't angry, just excited.
Couldn't stay in his seat. Because the last time he had been on a plane, we had him in a car seat.
Yeah. And we had the genius idea to not do a car seat, which was a terrible idea.
I don't know how we would have done a car seat.
Yeah. He would have not. He would have probably screamed.
Yeah. So, it was needless to say, we made it. But it was, by the time we got to...
Oh, so then we get to DC, and I'm like, take Arlo and go get the rental car. Like, our bags are going to take a while. Forgetting that we flew first class, our bags are flagged priority. So the first one's off the fucking plane. So all the bags come off immediately. And I'm like holding Rhett because he doesn't want to be in his stroller. So I'm holding him in one arm and yanking suitcases, like 54-pound suitcases off the trolley, carousel with the other arm. And this airport employee walks over. He's like, "Can I please help you?" Like, that'd be great. Thank you. I would appreciate that, sir. This man, I tipped him so well. He got like a $40 tip from me. I think that's a good tip. I don't know. I think it's a good tip. He was like, "I got this. Let me get a cart. Let me load everything on here." I was like, "Oh, we have a firearm too." He was like, "Oh, you do?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right. Whose name's on it?" I was like, "I think my husband's." He's like, "Well, I need his ID, so I need him here because I can't release it. It's in the back." And I was like, "Oh." So he's like, "Let me go pull it out and look at it." And he comes back. He's like, No. It's in, like, your name's on the ticket. It's fine." But they even though you're the one that checked it in, they tagged it onto my ticket, I guess. So I was able to give my ID and whatnot. So then I'm waiting for you with Red, who just kept running. Like, if he wasn't being held, he wanted to get down and run. Like, dude, you gotta fucking crash at some point. So I'm like, I don't know how close you are. And this guy keeps coming up. "Is your husband close yet? Is he close? Has he left the rental?" I'm like, "No, he hasn't." I don't know what's taking so long, but he hasn't left yet. Because again, I forgot, our bags were tagged priority.
Yeah.
So they were literally the first bags off the plane because they were the last fucking ones loaded. So finally, I'm like, "All right, we're just going to go stand by the curb." And so he's like, go, I got this. And we have these new hard shell suitcases. And they are amazing unless you try to stack them on top of each other. And then they are like slippery little things. Just slip and slide everywhere. Doesn't matter what you do. You try to put them on a cart, they just slide off each other. Like, it's terrible. They're great suitcases aside from that. So this poor airport employee, he loads up the cart. So it's like big suitcase, little suitcase, firearm case. And then I have a cooler, I have a stroller, I'm holding Rhett, because he doesn't want to be in the fucking stroller again. And I go across the little traffic lanes and whatnot in the crosswalk. And the guy's behind me and I just hear this crash and I'm like, "Oh, fuck." And I look back and everything has slid off the cart. It's all in the middle of the road. And this guy is all flustered, trying to get 4 suitcases and a firearm case back on the cart because he's now holding up traffic on this crosswalk. And I was like, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry, sir. We have a lot of shit. I'm so sorry. But I'm so glad that we brought as much shit as we did.
Yeah.
Because
our fucking moving company decided they were gonna not be on time.
Yeah. So we were given a 7-day window when our stuff would be delivered. And it is now going to be delivered day 10 of that 7-day window.
So now we're sitting in our empty living room.
Yeah.
With chairs we bought, a baby on the floor, waiting for our shit to get here. We spent some time at your cousin's house, which was nice. We spent a couple nights there, which was great, but Rhett got a stomach bug and threw up everywhere.
Yeah.
And then he got us sick.
Yeah.
And we were out for a few days.
Yeah. And then you got a death cold, apparently.
Yeah, it's just been a whirlwind of a couple weeks. So we haven't been around or able-bodied to do a whole lot.
No, it's been chaotic. Yeah.
But we're powering through. We're at the back end of it. We finally got our delivery date for our furniture, and we're looking forward to settling into our new life here in a different state, and it's not 118 degrees. And
dude, we left the right time.
We
literally just missed the week of 118 for multiple days.
Yeah. They're at, 18 to 20 consecutive days of over 110 degrees.
Yeah.
I'm
terrible.
good. I'll deal with the humidity all day long.
Right? I feel like it's not terrible because, like, we don't work outside. But just going to the car at the store in Phoenix in this heat was insane.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even sweat in that kind of heat.
Like,
the sweat that does come out, it evaporates as soon as it comes out.
getting in the car and driving anywhere, your car just doesn't get cool. It doesn't get below, like, 95 inside the interior of your vehicle. Like, it's hot. And out here, yeah, it's sweaty. Your sweat doesn't dry, so your clothes get damp and you feel gross and sweaty. But it's like 85 degrees. It's fantastic.
Yeah, we were really enjoying the weather out here, but we were also saying that most people that have lived here for a long time probably think this is really hot weather.
Yeah, no, they're not boiling.
If this is as damp as it gets and humid, I'm sure they have days that are like 100% humidity. It's just like
And
awful.
like upper 90s. We haven't really had like an upper 90s day.
Well, there's been a day here that was 95.
Oh, okay.
And but it wasn't 90%
No,
humidity.
yeah.
It was probably 80% humidity. So,
What did we do this past weekend?
what did we do? We went to a winery.
Yeah.
Talk about a whole new world.
Talk about that experience.
It was a lot of fun. It was with family. We went to this. It was in the middle of nowhere. Like, if anybody's been to Virginia, there's a lot of nowhere land. So we went to a vineyard that was beautiful, and not actually too crazy far from where we live. But it was my first experience being in that type of environment.
What was like the coolest part when we got there and like immediately like everyone flocked us?
Yeah, your family met us at the car, grabbed both kids, and were like, "Enjoy yourselves. We got everything." And we're like, "Okay," because that's not something we're used to in Arizona. We don't get that there.
No.
Here, your family's like all over it. Like, "Hey, we got this. You're good."
Wasn't it amazing?
Mm-hmm.
Just to be around family that like loves and cares and supports in that way.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And it's what we talked about and dreamed about with doing this move was being able to be around family that was like that.
Yeah.
And it was so cool to see that this first like full weekend here in the, house, not doing weddings and other stuff. This first full weekend here to see that and be like, this is what we, this was a driving force and why we relocated across country.
Yeah.
Was because of this, and it's coming to fruition.
Because our sons need other people in their lives to love on them, not just us,
Yeah. Well, I think Arla's ready for bed.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll talk again next week.
Have a good week. Thanks, everybody, for listening. You can check us out at
FreezeYourMilk.com
or Instagram.
Freeze Your Milk Podcast.
Until next week, guys. Thanks.
Don't forget, parenting is a trip. We are all here on the journey with you together. Thanks so much for listening.